Okay, welcome to the periodic table test review, and I have right here in front of me, I'm sitting here having a nice evening, and I have right in front of me your test. The first 10 questions is actually going to be matching. Let me read just some of the matching things that you're going to have to know. Periodic law, cation, period, group, electrons, transition metal, atomic radius, electronegativity, ionization energy, etc. So that's the first thing you're going to have to know. You're going to have to know those terms pretty well. I'll give you 4 scientists who you're going to have to know for the test, and that is Lavoisier, Moseley, Mendeleev, and John Dalton. And what did they do to help develop the periodic table? What does the atomic number have to do with the periodic table? What's in the nucleus relative to the atomic number? And what does it have to do with the modern periodic table? You're going to have to remember your electron configurations, because that's going to be an important part of interpreting your periodic table relative to its usefulness. So if I ask you, if I give you a electron configuration, you're going to have to know what element it is. So that's going to be pretty important. So if you did that, if you knew that in chapter 5, that should not be a problem. You're going to have to know what happens to ionization energy as I go across a period from left to right, as I go down a column from top to bottom? What happens to ionization energy? What happens to atomic radius? What happens to ionic radius? And what happens to electronegativity? We have to know, what does the shielding effect have to do with anything relative to those 4 things? What's the shielding effect have to do with ionization energy, atomic radius, ionic radius, and electronegativity? What is the nuclear charge, and when is the nuclear charge important? When is the shielding effect important? When is the shielding effect constant? When is it not constant? I'll read a problem. I'm not going to read the answers off the multiple choice part, but I'll just give you the question. What causes the shielding effect to remain constant across a period? So that's something that's very important. You're going to have to be able to determine what has if I give you the second period, what's going to have the largest atomic radius, what's going to have the smallest atomic radius, what's going to have the largest ion, what's going to have the smallest cation, what's going to have the smallest anion, what's going to have the largest of each, etc. Okay, what about factors that contribute to increase in atomic size, for instance? What about, well, let's see, what is a cation? What is an anion? What does an anion do? What does a cation do? A cation will lose electrons. An anion will gain electrons. A cation will be positive charged, and an anion will be negatively charged. So you're going to have to be able to distinguish between cations and anions and what they are. You're going to have to know what the charges are on a particular element. For instance, if I give you magnesium, what's going to be the charge on magnesium? Well, it's in group 2, so it's going to be +2, because you know that it's going to give up 2 electrons. First of all, the metals are going to be cations, so it's going to be positive. That's easy. And then you're going to have to know that it's going to give up 2 electrons, because it wants to be like the nearest noble gas, neon. What's the new valence shell? What is the valence shell of magnesium ion? What's the valence shell of magnesium atom? Are they different? What is the lowest electronegativity value, and what is the highest electronegativity value, and why? What is the highest based on? What is the lowest based on? What is group 2 metals? What are they called, group 2 metals? What are group 1 metals called? What are the group 17 non-metals called? What are metalloids? What are metals? What are non-metals? What are transition metals? What are intertransition metals? What are, let's see, what what is the, let's see, you're going to have to know, if I give you an ion, you're going to have to, an element, an elemental symbol and its charge, you're going to have to tell me how many electrons it has, just based on that. How many electrons does the ion calcium plus 2 contain, for instance? Okay, that's really about it. I mean, I think I've covered it all. It's kind of a quick review, but I went through the test little by little and saw what was there and made sure that I mentioned it in more than just passing. So you can even follow this review by the number of questions. You know, there's 40 questions. I have some numerical response, a short answer. I have multiple choice, all kinds of stuff going on here, matching, etc. So good luck, and have a good day, and goodbye. Hope you had a great weekend, and goodbye.